If you get into performance mode on this thing, you're going to see is how many people went down each one of these paths, and you're going to start to get a sense of what your conversion rate is on these particular leads. Tasks are pretty sophisticated. It's a system that is designed not the way a normal sort of to-do list might be, but instead it's designed to be used as part of your process automation system, whether it's marketing processes or new customer onboarding processes or whatever process you may be running in Ontraport. And tasks are designed to be what you use when you need a human to intervene and take some manual step, like make a phone call or send out a letter or whatever it might be that a human needs to do as a part of your process. So, for example, if you have lead management process, somebody downloads your ebook and you follow up with them, and maybe you ask for more information about them over time, or you track their behavior and you notice that they're going to the pages on your website that are pitching your high ticket items. You might identify that a particular prospect is more likely to buy, more likely to be a good customer, and that you might want to invest the additional resources that it takes to have a human actually get involved in the process and pick up the phone and make a phone call. Certainly that's what we do here at Ontraport. People come around and either take a free trial or they request a demo, and what immediately happens is a task is sent to our team to schedule the call, make a phone call, follow up with this person. So the process is typically automated. Now you can send out tasks one-off, but typically tasks are sent automatically as part of some automation. And so I'll show you how to set up a task, and then I'm going to show you a couple of the really unique features about how tasks work, and then how to use those features and integrate them into your campaigns. And I think that we had somebody here on the group. Let me just see what the exact use case was. It was a good one. Cameron Upton said, we have a series of, we have sales calls that are booked that's got three outcomes. Either the booked for the next strategy call, no show, right? You make the phone call and somebody doesn't show up, or it's a bad lead. That also happens. People say, hey, give me a call, and then they throw out a phone number that's not a good phone number. We have a similar process here at Ontraport. We have a couple of other outcomes, things like left a message, right? They didn't show up, or it's not a bad lead, but we didn't get a hold of them. We left a message, something like that. So let's see, it says they currently have sales reps writing notes on paper, manually tagging leads. The ideal situation would be a task with a form to fill out the outcome. Yeah. All right. So check this out. First of all, the easy stuff. Let's just talk about the easy stuff. When we go in here, we're in the messages collection. We're in contacts, messages. Tasks are like a message because it's some stuff that's sent out. It's kind of like a template that gets used over and over again. So we're going to say new lead. Call this person now. I just want to throw this out there. We have this merge field tool here. You can say first name, space, last name. And you can actually take that, copy it, and plop that right into your task. You can do this thing with emails and anything. It works in subjects. So call Landon Ray now. All right. I want this done immediately. This due date thing, incidentally, is used for the sort of task escalation. So you can kind of set this thing up, and I'll show you how it works. You can set this thing up to notify a manager if the tasks aren't getting done on time. And it also helps you to see, in the task collection, you can see tasks that are overdue and stuff like that. So this thing is due immediately. It means it's going to be overdue quickly. I can have it due due date 1 day after assignment, and then it'll be it'll be automatically set for 1 day after it gets assigned. The task Owner. Okay, so you can set this to a few different things. You can set the task owner to be the same as the contact owner, which you might do if you use round robin lead routing or something like that. You can also, or if you have a particular form that sets the contact owner to a particular rep, you can have this particular task always go to a specific user. So, you've got all your users here. So this task will always be assigned to, whatever. Or you can have your task assigned to roles. This is pretty cool because it'll round robin. So if you have, if you want it to always go to a salesperson, and but you don't want it to always go to the same salesperson, you can just assign it to the sales role, and the system will automatically round robin these tasks as they get assigned. So one first to this person, then to the next person, stuff like that. Then we just type out our task. So what do we do here? We want to use merge fields because these are going to be merged up with the current information, whatever contact this task is assigned for. So please call first name, last name at, and then I'm just going to drop in their phone number. It looks like it's right there. And you can put their, whatever you want to say. Check out their site at, and then you have the website maybe if you've asked for this information, whatever you got. Okay, so you can obviously type that up however you want. And then you decide how to notify somebody. This task is automatically going to end up in the tasks collection, and we can look at that in a minute. But if you want to also notify somebody that there is a new task, you can do that. And so who do you want to notify? Well, let's see. This field is required. Okay, cool. Why is this giving me a hard time? There we go. So you can, typically you'll notify the task assignee, right? So this might be the contact owner, but it might not. In this case, it's a sales rep. So whatever sales rep got this thing, you want to notify them that they just got the task assigned. So notify it, right now. Let's see, 0 days after the task is assigned, so that's going to be immediately, right? And you can notify them via email or SMS, whichever you want. I'm just going to say, hey, you got a new task. It'll have this information in it. You can also add another one. You might say the task assignee's manager 1 day after the task is due, right? And of course, that won't, if the task is completed, that notification will never happen. So you can do that, and you can notify anybody else you want to. Just keep adding notifications on here. So that's pretty simple. So that will happen. And then task outcomes. So this is pretty cool. So task outcomes are, I'm going to create a new outcome. The new outcome is going to basically be, I got the outcomes here from, so booked next call, and of course you can make these up. This is a sales example, but you might have various outcomes. This isn't required. Task outcomes are optional, but it's pretty cool. So I'll show you how it works. So book next call. And then what I can do here is I can use these rules here. This is probably turned on because I have rules. You probably won't see this, to be honest, and you don't need it. So I would not worry about those rules. You got to turn on some legacy features in order to see that. So I shouldn't have had that there. But book next call, and then we've got create a new outcome, which is no show. No show, select, save, and then the last one was bad lead. And so we'll add another one. New outcome, bad lead. Oops, not there. Here. There we go. Save. Okay, now I've got these 3 outcomes. Now, I'm going to show you one last cool thing. A lot of times, when you have somebody on your team doing a manual task, one of the things that they're doing is collecting new information or more information about the contact, right? It's like call them up and get a new credit card, or it is, call them up and find out what products they're interested in, or what their objections are, or whatever it might be, right? So that information is stuff that you want to have collected into the contact record. And if you kind of leave it up to your sales reps, for example, to get that done, no offense to sales reps out there, but let's just be honest, that may or may not get done every time. Fortunately, Ontraport has a feature that's built in that actually puts a form directly in line into the task completion process. Now, one of the tricks about this thing, because I won't get into the whys, we may not have any tests. So I'm going to have to come back to this. And the reason is the trick I was about to tell you is that the only forms that are going to show up there are legacy forms. And that's just because those legacy forms don't have a bunch of extra CSS and styling, and that stuff doesn't show up well in our task completion tool. So I'm going to show you how this is done. New lead task is what I'm going to call this thing, and we're just going to save it. Okay, now we're going to go back. I'm going to, just for fun, I'm going to create a form so you can see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to create a new form. I'm going to create a smart form this time, not an Ontraform, but a smart form. This is the old tool. This is pretty much the only time that I would suggest that you use this thing. You don't need to have this field in here. Yes. Say I want to, a good one to put in here actually is a note. Add a field, and you can add a note in here, and maybe you want to add, maybe you want to add their sales stage, sales pipeline status. You can let the user, let the rep upline their sales pipeline status right there. Or maybe you want to, what else have I got here that might be interesting? I want to get, I don't know. Oh, next appointment date. That's a cool one. Okay, cool. So we're gonna form for new lead task. Okay, and we'll just save that. Now we're gonna go back to our messages collection. We're gonna look at this new lead task. Come down here and form for new lead task. All right, so now we've got that in there, and we're going to save that. So now we have this task that's sitting there. It's not assigned to anyone, right? We can go to the contacts collection, pick a contact, and we can assign that task manually. So I can say new lead task. It was this one right here. And I can, just like always, I can edit it if I want to, but I'm going to assign that sucker. And if we go into this particular contact now, and we look for our tasks, I don't know where I have, notes and tasks. Very nice. All tasks. And here it is. I got the assignee, the new subject, contact, date complete, the status open, all this stuff, and I can, even get the details of the thing. Of course, I don't have a phone number for this person or a website, so it's all blank. So it's a little silly, but I can click here to go over to the actual, what is this? This is the wrong thing. That was to the record. Yeah, let's see. Let's do this. Let's go over, oops, not tickets, tasks. Oh man, I gotta show you guys one of these times. I integrated Zendesk in with Ontraport. I've got all of our Zendesk tickets in here. It's pretty cool. All right, so all tasks. And here's the task in my task collection, right? And so I can click on it and I can mark this thing complete, and you'll see what happens. What happens? Well, here's the fields from that form that I just created. Notes. Hey, here is a note, and I can change the sales pipeline status. Maybe it's a bad lead. I can set a next appointment date. That's kind of an interesting thing. Why would I do that? I'll show you in a minute. And then it's asking what happened on this task. Well, here are my outcomes. I'm going to say bad lead, and then I'm going to mark complete and close, or I can mark complete and manually add a new task. So I'm just going to mark complete and close, and boom, that task is now completed. We can go into the contact record here, and note that our note is here. Hey, here's a note. The task is completed. Okay, so that is all really good. Of course, the sales stage and all that stuff is was changed to bad lead. I don't know where those fields are in this. Here it is, bad lead, sales pipeline status. So that got moved, and on we go. Now, I want to show you how to take what just happened and automate the next steps, because that's what's really cool about task outcomes in particular. So I actually am going to show you that we have a templated campaign in here. If I search for SFA, no, it's probably because I already installed it. I type sell and deliver examples. Where have I got it? Salesforce automation, advanced leads. I think I already installed this thing. Maybe I've got it in here. Yeah, Salesforce automation. I could do this dispatch and follow up. All right, I will just do this dispatch and follow up. So that's in here. You can launch this thing. And here's what I want you to see how this works. So this is a templated campaign. You can click and install. It's going to look just like this. Notice that there's instructions here, exactly how to set this thing up. It explains what dispatch is. Dispatch is a process that we use here at Ontraport, where we have one rep that is always kind of like the dispatcher. They're at any one time, and they are responsible for handing out leads. We don't do round robin lead routing here, and the reason is because we have reps that have different hours, and we have people that take vacations or stay home sick or whatever it might be, and we don't want leads getting routed to somebody who's not around. And we also want to make sure that leads are routed as quickly as possible to the people who are free, right? They're not on a phone call, whoever's free at that moment. So we really want to respond to new leads, within minutes. So what we do is we have somebody that is the dispatcher, all new leads. So you can see here that the new leads get assigned to a dispatcher seat in Ontraport. The dispatcher is always looking at that seat. And then what they do is they see the new lead and they change the contact owner. And that is the process that dispatches this ticket. So what happens? They get the contact fills out a form, say, and that process adds them to the dispatch queue. And what their job is to look at that contact and to change the contact owner. They do it manually, whoever's free. And then so it says here, update contact owner to the admin or the dispatcher, right? And then it's going to wait. It's going to wait until that person flips the contact owner. And so the dispatcher then goes in, flips the contact owner to somebody, doesn't matter who, because that's the goal. And as soon as they do that, that goal is achieved. And what does it do? It sends the new lead notification out to whoever it was that got the lead assigned to them. Okay, and then here's the magic. That task gets assigned, and then the contact is waiting here. And now look at this. This is all of our task outcomes. So they're set up as goals. They're set up as goals. And if we look at this, you could have it set up as any contact on the map. Depending on your use case, you might want to only let contacts that are sitting here at this particular weight achieve this goal, depending on how you're setting this up. But what is the goal? The goal is achieved when the new lead notification, or in our case, we could say the new lead task, right, is completed with the outcome. Book next call. Done. And then as soon as that happens, as soon as that outcome happens, boom, they move down here. And then, what does it do? This is actually an interesting one. It sits here and waits for the next follow-up date. Remember in that task, I had a field that said, what's the next follow-up date? What date should I be following up? Because the sales rep was on the phone with this person, right? And the guy said, well, give me a call in 2 weeks. And the rep says, cool, I'll give you a call in 2 weeks. And they use that date as the next follow-up date. Well, what happens here? The next call is booked. The contact moves down here, moves to this wait, and this wait is set to send 0 days before the next follow-up date in my time zone at 6 a.m. And what's it going to do? It's going to send another task. This is, hey, you were supposed to follow up with this person today. Boom, the sales rep gets another task right at the appropriate time, and then another round of task outcomes. So they're going to wait, and then what happens? Follow up, left a message, not interested, not qualified. So no matter what the outcome is, you just create that process down below the goal here. So this task is completed with the left a message, and what are we going to do? We're going to set the next follow-up time, do the same thing again, right? Not interested, end. You might send an email that says, hey, thanks for taking the time. I appreciate we're not a match right now, but love it if you'd keep us in mind. If you know somebody who may be a better fit for our services. Not qualified, same thing, might send that email. Outcome, bad contact info, right? That's the bad lead one. So just end this. You might even change this to change the bulk email status to transactional only, so you don't send them any mass emails. So this is how to automate what happens next based on the task outcomes. Those task outcomes, again, are set up in the task itself. You can go to that task template again. Oops, that task template is in messages. I can go to that task template again just to make sure we're clear where that all got set up. The task outcomes are here, and then the form that I want to capture information on that task outcome is created here. Of course, when you assign a task, when you notify somebody via email, there's a link in that email that says, hey, complete that task. They can actually complete that task right from their email. They're not logged into the system. It takes them to a page where they get the same options, basically. And so you can have people that are not even users complete tasks. You could assign that task to a specific email address. I want to send it to, my VA at wherever. Oops. So this is not even an Ontraport user. That person will get a task. They can complete that task because they don't ever have to log into the account. So I know this is a quick one, but task automation is super powerful, and I think it's a relatively poorly understood aspect of the system. You can also see here the number of times that this bad lead was run is 1, so you can see how that is. But it's really cool if you get into the campaigns and do your outcomes in this campaign, because if you get into performance mode on this thing, what you're going to see is how many people went down each one of these paths, and you're going to start to get a sense of what your conversion rate is on these particular leads. If you get really tricky, you add UTMs, turn on tracking as a pro user, and add UTMs to your marketing. And what you can see here is you can filter this whole thing by lead source. Say, click on Facebook over here. It'll show up here as one of your lead sources, and you'll be able to see the task outcome conversion for Facebook leads. It might turn out that Facebook is driving a bunch of bad leads, a bunch of fake leads. Whereas Google, you click on Google and you find out, oh yeah, these people are interested. I booked a bunch of next calls. 7% of my Google leads are booking next calls. That's super useful information, because you could then shift more of your budget from Facebook to Google if you find out that one particular lead source is not helping you out. All right, so I think that's enough for tasks right now. Hopefully that answers the question at hand. Let's see, who was it? It was Cameron Upton. If you have any more questions, feel free to continue the conversation in the Facebook thread. Thanks for joining us today. Cheers all.